Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of LB and Daps. Waffling about Manchester City and waffling about Guardiola's Revolution. Before we get involved, man, make sure you guys are smashing up these likes. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. Also, just a quick reminder, 6 p.m. UK time, second channel, link in description. Riyad Mahrez and Ryan Aït-Nouri driller. Come on, man, we will be there. We will be there. How you doing, bro? You good, yeah? Algeria playing later on, innit?
Oh, right, okay. Seen.
So obviously I'm doing a scout along, you know what I mean? Scouting these players, see what they're doing.
Who are you scouting? Mahrez or Aït-Nouri?
Yeah, well, both of them, I need to see how my old mucker Mahrez is getting on. You know what I'm saying? Has he still got it, or is he an unk now? And then Aït-Nouri, man, because I'm gonna dial in and see what this guy's saying. And I want to see defensively as well, because some people say he's a bit sus defensively, so I want to clock that as well, man. So
either way, Mahrez is now goated even more by the fact that he's referring to it as the best club in the world.
I know, bro. I'm telling you, man. There's still some City fans out there that don't fully respect this guy as much as they should do, bro. I'm being real. Like, this guy loves the football club, man, and he was a baller. Like, top guy, man. So, yeah, looking forward to that anyway. So, yeah, make sure you guys are subbed up, second channel in description. Anyway, bro, how you doing? You good, bro, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good. Kathy's saying, where do I get time to eat? I haven't eaten yet. In between shows, I tried to start cooking a curry, but literally chopped an onion, then had to jump back on another show. So, I'm going to eat after this. But I'm good, man. I'm good. Bro, I just feel like my stress levels have gone down.
Yeah, I know.
Monday morning, I was hanging. I was a nervous wreck. I was like spilling my drink in that. And now, like, we're sat back going, what's everyone saying? Like,
no, I agree. You know what it is, bro, for me? It's like, because this summer was like so crucial for the rebuild. And I've been saying, like, coming into this summer transfer window, that I think this summer window, by the way, if I have to dip, I've just got to go and get a parcel. I'll be like, a minute, yeah. But I've been saying, like, this rebuild, yeah. I think this rebuild that we complete this summer, in addition to what we did in January, is probably going to set us on the path for the next 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it was so important. And it was so important that the club got the right players. Now, I think they've got the right players. I think Aït-Nouri is the left back that we should have got. I think Reinders is a great signing, and I think that'll work. And, you know, whilst I've not seen a lot of Cherky, from what I have seen of him, he looks like a top player. And as you said, bro, coming into this window, there was so much pressure on the sporting directors, and obviously as fans, we was all stressing out, saying, "What we're gonna do? We need 5 players, 6 players." But I said it last night on the stream with Hugh. I don't know about you, man, but I'm so impressed at the way the club has executed on these transfers. They've done it with such precision. They've not panicked.
Oh, it's the costs.
It's the cost, bro. Like this whole Wirtz thing, right? And whatever happened, it doesn't actually matter for the scenario that I'm talking about, whether he rejected us or we actually pulled out. Whatever they decided to do, there was a plan. There was a plan. There was a clear plan in play. How quickly after the Wirtz news did we move on to Cherky?
Oh.
Very quick. Whereas, like, I feel like we've learned again from going back to the Bellingham saga, which as soon as we got rejected from Bellingham, we were all over the place, weren't we? We went in for Rice, we put a bid in, then we rejected it, then we moved on and blah, blah, blah. It just didn't look like we knew really what we were doing. And what it's demonstrated to me is that we've learned from our mistakes, and that we are executing properly. And even when things maybe don't quite go our way, in the case with the Wirtz deal, we've got a plan B, and we just keep it business as usual, keep shit moving. And that is how elite level football clubs run. That's how you operate, and that's what we're doing right now.
For someone in the comments saying, when are Reinders and Cherky doing medicals? Reinders' medical was done on Sunday. Cherky's medical was done yesterday. They're both done. Both medicals are done. Both medicals are passed. For some reason, the club are just... Do you know what? The club... This is the mad thing is, the club has a strategy, and the club clearly know when they want to release things. Like, Reinders is done. Cherky medical is done. But LB, me and Steve were speaking about this, yeah? Your Steve, right? About the whole thing of, like, were we rejected? Did we really walk away from Wirtz, or did we not, right? I guess we'll never know. But what matters is what we did afterwards. Yeah?
Correct. Facts. Yeah.
And again, I'll be honest. Last summer, yeah, we fucked up. The summer before, a little bit. I still think the summer before transfer window was not as bad as we think, because I actually think that fucking Kovacic and Vardy were two good signings. Nunes not so, and maybe. But do you know what? If you deep it, yeah, I'm pretty certain summer 2010, we had a mad transfer window. We got Yaya Toure, David Silva, Kolarov, Boateng. 7 years on, we had another mad transfer window. Yeah. Again, this is 8 years on, so it seems like every 7-8 years you have to do a rebuild. Yeah, but it's the way they've acted on this, and the fact that Khaldoon came out and made that statement. And I think, look, I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna talk about how mint Hugo Viana is, right? And we're gonna shit on Tiki, and we're gonna say, yeah, Tiki failed over the recent windows, and Viana got it right straight away, right? And there might be some truth to that, but I'll go back to what I always say about who the most important person at Manchester City Football Club, and it's not Pep Guardiola, it's Khaldoon, bro. And I actually think last summer, Khaldoon got a bit complacent, right? I think Khaldoon allowed the people around him that have earned his trust to say, Tiki and Pep ultimately saying to Khaldoon, no, we don't need to rebuild. And Khaldoon going, okay, I trust you guys. I think what we've seen this summer is Khaldoon go, do you know what? I dropped the ball as well, because I should have been saying, no, guys, we're not. We're doing it this summer. And I think Khaldoon has allowed the fucking sport and probably put a rocket up the sporting director's ass and said, by making that statement, we know what we want to do business-wise. We're going to move swift and clear. He set a statement, right? If anyone failed that, that's on them. They fucked his statement up.
I agree. But this is why I've been saying for time, bro, that we was always going to sort the mess out, because Khaldoon, he ain't. I would say this, man, but some people still ain't getting it. Like, bro, like this Khaldoon guy, like, bro, he ain't. I bet he would have been absolutely fuming with how this season's gone. Fuming, man. Do you know what I mean? He's sitting there in December. The season's over. Let's just be real. The season's over. All right, we could have scammed an FA Cup towards the end, right? But the season was basically over. He would have been fuming. And I'm telling you now, that is why they get shit done. And, I'm liking the signings that we've made. Even if we go back to January, look at the 4 signings there. Mamouche, he's come in and I think is doing really good already. He seems to have settled in really, really quickly. Nico Gonzalez, he actually played a lot more than everyone expects, and I think he's actually done quite well. Huzanov, for me, has been fantastic since he come in by the first 4 minutes of the Chelsea game. And Vita Hayes, obviously, we've not really seen too much of him, but what we have seen of him, I've been quite impressed. You then come into the 3 signings we've made now, and all 3 of them are looking good, and we've not even finished. I reckon we've got another couple in us after the World Cup. And
this, again, is where we can say the same as when we said, you know what, whatever happened with Wirtz happened, it's how we moved on. Whatever happened last summer, right? We've seen so many clubs fumble, right? And they keep fumbling, and they take ages to react. Let's be real. We started last season, although as City fans, we were probably watching the City games going, oh, we're not looking that good, but we were getting wins. Manchester City were bad was it early November we started performing badly, or was it mid-October?
It was whenever the Tottenham Carabao Cup game was. So that's probably like November or something.
Right. So City were bad in November and December. 2 months of bad. And guess what? In January, our board came out and showed we ain't letting this fucking happen, right? We've got other clubs that are years and years into this shit, and they're still not doing anything to solve it. 2 months, and our board showed in January, oh, we're not fucking about. And again, I'll keep saying this. Rivals will go, oh, well, who'd you buy in January? What did they do? The form shows it, right? Going into January, we were probably the worst formed team in the league, right? We ended the season the best formed team in the league, right? Now, Mamouche, clear game changer. Came in and changed everything for us, right? Without Mamouche, would we have got Champions League football? Probably not. Kuzanov came in and for a period, when he was playing, was putting in mint performances. Gonzalez came in, put in some mint performances. But also, all of that took pressure off of all the other players, which allowed them to get some downtime. And there's no coincidence, back into the season, Gundogan started performing better. Why? Because he'd had a fucking rest. So the board made changes from January. And as for this window, I've just had an Arsenal fan in my group chat, in my group chat with all my mates this morning, pop up saying, and we know this is going to happen, popped up saying, City spent 450 million in the last 6 months. How can we compete? And I was like, bro, I'm not going to tell you we haven't spent a lot of money, but we've bought 7 players, and we've spent 280 million, not 450. This last window, we spent 110 million on Nori, Cherky, and Reinders. 110 million on those 3 players. And me and Pope were talking about it this morning. Watch when the wages come out. I bet we're not even paying them that much neither.
Bro, the thing is, Arsenal are owned by billionaires.
Yeah, so go and spend your money.
If they want, they're telling us that they're bigger than us. Okay, so you're bigger than us. Okay, so you're a bigger football club than us, and you've got billionaire owners. Yeah, you like Khaldoon said, mate. Yeah, when he did that interview a couple of years ago, he said teams need to start looking at themselves. Fans need to start looking at their own football club. Yeah, Arsenal were in all 4 competitions, I believe, in January, and they signed nobody. Nobody. You know what I'm saying?
The other thing is, so someone broke it down, 175 and 110, 285. I said 280, my bad, I'm out by 5 million. But you have to go back to, on the Arsenal thing, right, is what the board told them. The whole week, right, Arsenal won the Premier League as the Invincibles, right? That team got demolished. Why? They got told because, right, we're building a new stadium. Bear with us. That stadium is going to allow us to compete with the best teams in Europe. Not just be winning Premier Leagues, but retaining league trophies and winning European trophies, right? But you've got to bear with us. You've got to bear with us, right? So we had this whole thing of when Arsenal were a selling club and we bought all their players. Oh, we're a selling club. It's just while we pay off the stadium, then we'll be back. Cool. The stadium was paid off fucking years ago, right? Years ago, and you're still not competing in Europe, right? And you're still... and although it's all bullshit, because we know how much Arsenal has spent over the last 4 or 5 years, either way, if it's not getting the job done, go and spend more. That's what you told us you were going to do. That's what you told us you were going to do, so do it. And I'm with you, LB. Although we have to know these things to back up when we're arguing with rivals, you and I don't care what our club spends.
No.
And when I was a kid and we were shit at that ground, Man United fans never used to fucking give a shit about what their club spent. No one gave a shit. People only give a shit now because it's that one last stick that they can beat City down with. And that's it. Who cares? Who gives a fucking shit?
I hear it, man. I hear it. Yo, big up City 64 says expecting at least one big trophy. Omar will hit 40 GA. I think Omar Mamouche could get close to that. I think 30 is what you should be looking at. 40 is like a sort of stretch thing.
40 is quality in his first full season.
Yeah, I think he means like all GA, so goals on assists. But yeah, I mean, I've been mad impressed with how he settled it. In terms of outgoings then, bro, Pep Guardiola said, you know what I mean, this new squad that we're getting, obviously Pep's Revolution, these new players, he only wants 23, let's say 24 players max, although he did say he don't want 24 players. We've obviously signed 3 players, well, 4 if you include that Bettinelli guy. One's gone in Kevin De Bruyne. Walker's likely to leave as well. In terms of Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, and Kovacic, what do you see City doing here? Obviously, Kovacic does have an injury as well for 3 months, which might make it tricky. Probably going to make it tough.
I said this earlier. See, the thing is, right, I think that's where we are now, by the way, that we've made the 3 signings that I think is irrelevant. I think as far as the board, when they sat down and had that meeting, I think the board, as far as they were concerned, was irrelevant to who leaves, irrelevant to all that homegrown stuff, irrelevant to anything. Ait Nori, Cherky, and Reinders, those 3 come in by any means, right? And that's what we've done. We've gone and got them. Now, I think, and this is where at some points I've seen people say about, City need to get rid of players. We can't. The players we could get rid of, were Scott Carson and Kevin De Bruyne. Why? Because their contracts run out. So it's very easy to say, right, they're not going to be here next season. Now, we have to sit here and wait a little bit. Because even with Grealish, we can't just kind of say Grealish is not part. I mean, to be fair, Pep kind of has, but we have to wait and see what moves they make. Now, I think you're right on Cover. Cover ain't going anywhere. And for me, by the way, I don't want Cover to go anywhere. I think of all our midfielders last season, Cover was probably our best midfielder. So
he was our best midfielder. People always argue with this on. I was like, he's clearly our best midfielder last year.
Baffled by it. But I think
he's the worst out of the three, like all in form and in the peak. Gundogan and Bernardo were better footballers than him. But last season, he was the better footballer, 100%.
And I even had a debate earlier with someone in the chat was saying, like I said, if we're being honest, the person that showed they lacked the most stamina last season out of our midfielders was Kevin De Bruyne, right? Kevin De Bruyne was the one that was blowing after 60 minutes most games, And this isn't Kevin De Bruyne slander. That's fine. Look at his age and look at the way he's played football through his career, right? But where I am, I think Cover we won't get rid of because he's injured, and that's basically it. It's not like having an injured Gundogan at 25. This is an injured 30-year-old. No one's buying him.
I think Bernardo Silva, you'll be. I think there'll be teams around Europe and in Saudi Arabia that would quite happily take Bernardo Silva. I think City would sell him 15, 20 million quid. He's only got a year left on his contract. He's in his 30s.
He's the one I think that, like with Gundogan, I think Gundogan's in a position where we know he's happy in Manchester, and we know his missus and his family are happy in Manchester because they left Manchester and they've come back, right? So he's happy. He's got a year left on his contract. Then he probably retires. The other option he would probably love or be open to is if a Turkish team came in for him just to end his career in Turkey. So I think Gundogan's probably sat there like, I don't mind.
I think City will let him go on a free as well because we got him on a free transfer, and City are not going to fuck about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, but with Bernardo, I think City would want some money, and but
100%. He's only I think he's only 31. 30, Bernardo Silva.
I think he's 30. I don't think he's 31 yet.
Yes, he's 31 in August, so 31.
Yeah, so
he's definitely, I mean, he's got an estimate on transfer market. Yeah, obviously you've got to like change the values. Yeah, it's not all. They've got a value of 38 million euros on transfer. You can't be letting a player like that go for free. So I think you'll be able to get 15, 20 million for Bernardo Silva across Europe or Saudi Arabia.
Saudi looking at him as well, right? So a team in Saudi are looking at him.
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me if Bernardo. If Ronaldo has a word with his club or whatever, or even maybe Mahrez.
I have seen some links the last day or two that there's a club in Saudi that are looking at Bernardo, that have added Bernardo to their shortlist.
Yeah, it does surprise me one little bit.
Al Hilal.
Yeah, so you let him go. I remember, chat, he's on £300,000 a week. £300,000 per week he's on. So you let him go. Gundogan's probably on about 200. That's 500 grand a week. You keep Kovacic for one more year because of his injury, and then next year, I'm absolutely convinced, that Kovacic leaves next year and we go in for Wharton at Palace. I'm absolutely convinced of it because we need homegrown players. He's a pet player, and he's potentially could be a Rodri replacement in future years as well. So I think that's the way that City move. I think that's the way City move on it.
You seen what's it called? Is it Cancelo's team that are interested in? That makes even more sense because I know Bernardo and Cancelo are very close friends, isn't they? The other one, have you seen that fucking a team in Saudi are interested in Morgan Gibbs-White?
I did see that, yeah.
And that Morgan Gibbs-White has now come out and said he'd rather a move to Europe over a move to another Premier League club. I just think, I'm glad we didn't get this fucker. He just wants out of Nottingham Forest.
Is that what he said? I thought he said he'd rather move to Europe than going to Saudi. Did he say that he don't want to play the Premier League?
The way I read it was he'd rather a move to Europe over a Premier League club.
Yeah, crazy. I didn't realise that's what it said. I remember seeing the tweet, but I thought it said he wants to stay in Europe rather than going Saudi Arabia. I think we've moved. I have seen a couple people say that, we're going to go back for him after the Club World Cup. I think that deal's dead, if I'm being completely honest with you. And the thing is as well, is if Kovacic is staying, which he probably is because of the injury, you're going to have probably one too many players in there. Yeah. So I think I think City will go and get the right back, go and get the Ederson replacement if Ederson leaves, and then next summer Kovacic can go and we'll go in. And by the way, that gives us one more year of doing scouting on midfielders. Let's give Morgan Gibbs. Let's give Wharton another year. Let's see one full, because remember at the start of the season he was injured. He wasn't very good. Now he's finished the season very strong. Let's give him a full year. Let's be absolutely sure that he's the one. Or is there anyone else in Europe that's available?
Well, you're spot on with that with Wharton. I agree with you on that. I still think Wharton. I still feel that Wharton we need to see a bit more of.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie, mate. Yeah, but bro, I'll be real. I've not seen him play that many good games. One of the only good games I've seen him play is against City in the final. But
bro, this is a thing for me, yeah. That like I'm sure you've had it before as a content creator. As an English content creator, I've definitely had it before, yeah. Where people always talk about we overrate our players. For me personally, yeah, if we're talking about a Manchester City midfield, I don't feel Wharton at this point. What I have seen of Wharton, he's not Manchester City midfield quality. He's not.
No. However, Daps, give him another year, which is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's better than Kovacic anyway. So like you'll be upgrading that Kovacic position. But the question is he worth the fee? But as I said yesterday, when it comes to these Livramento conversations, like at some guy commented on my video that I did and said, "Why do you always want to overpay for English players, LB?" I said, "You don't get it, do you? You don't get it. Stones is leaving. Grealish is leaving. Ake's going to be leaving." Yeah, and probably another fucking homegrown player's leaving. We need homegrown players. Now, unless you want to go and buy some dead fucking English player who's shit for 15 million, then fair play. But I'm saying go and get the best English or homegrown players you can. You're going to have to overpay. But what's the alternative?
Yeah. This is the thing. The one other thing I would say, I've been saying this a bit recently. I agree with that.
It is crazy, Daniel. It is a factually 100% crazy. But the thing is, Daniel, innit? Like, what can you do about it? You've got to sign the players. You have to have homegrown players in your squad. So we either go and get the very best homegrown players we can, and yes, overpay, but then you've got the homegrown players in and you've got the best ones. Or you go and get shitter ones, who, by the way, you're probably still going to overpay for anyway, just to a lower degree. And then you've got worse players. Yeah. Why do people want worse players?
Yeah, the homegrown tax is a thing. Look, as far as with English players, at times we will defend English players, but as Englishmen, we will defend English players. And I've said this on South Stand, but the same way, I've got my mate who lives downstairs. He's from Grenada, right? Anything Grenada does, he'll tell me about. Why? Because he's Grenadan. Same with wherever you are from, yeah? You want people to perform to the best of their ability. I'll be honest with England right now. Bro, did you watch England the other day? Did you do a watch-along for that? Oh, no, you were out in London, weren't you? Bro,
the England game, nah.
Bro, did you see it, though? Did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it, bro.
Bro.
Bro. That's not it. I thought Andorra versus England. No,
See, this is thank you. Right? When I was younger, I remember we'd play teams like San Marino. We'd smack them 5-0, 6-0, right? At half-time...
Yo, big up Mike, man. Appreciate it, Mike, for the 5.
At half-time, when it was 0-0, the commentator is saying, we just need to do... Everyone needs to calm down. We just need to keep playing how we're playing. They'll get tired and we'll make a breakthrough. Alternatively, look at the players we've got on the bench. And I'm like, no. This is fucking Andorra, yeah? We're shit, bro. We're washed. I honestly think with England, it's the same as with Man United, yeah? It's deeper than the players. Like, there's something weird there. Because we're shit.
I'm going to watch it tonight, because I've not seen Senegal for time, but they used to be a sick nation at football, and I don't know what's going on there. So I'm going to watch it anyway. And it's straight after the Algeria game, so I'll be sat here anyway. I've just watched the Algeria game, so I might as well do it. But I saw it. I was live scored, looking at watch-alongs. I thought Andorra versus England, absolutely. I didn't even watch the game. I've never seen the goal. I don't even know who scored.
I just got down to London, and I was in my hotel waiting. I had a couple of hours to kill, so it was kind of on the TV while I was more on Twitter, to be honest, because I was more doing fucking Turkey watch than I was watching the game. But even the goal was shit. It was just, honestly, like, we're bad, man. We're really fucking bad.
The thing is, I don't want to go too off topic. I want to keep it City, but now you fucking opened a can of worms and it gets me. Why is he picking Henderson? Why is he picking Kyle Walker? Why is he picking these players? The World Cup next year, 2026, Henderson ain't going to be playing. Walker's not going to be playing. So why is he picking those players?
Against Andorra. This is a thing. You know what? If this was a fucking, like, a World Cup qualifier that we must win, or we're not going to the World Cup. I get it, yeah. Play players, but bro, this is Andorra in one of the first qualifiers, yeah. What are we doing, man? Like we're bad. But anyway, let's move on.
Asbestos, I thought that was the reason why they picked Walker. And he didn't even play. He didn't even come off the bench. So what the fuck's the point? Anyway, yeah, sorry, don't get me started on England, mate, because I'll go off, mate. They're so annoying.
Like, when you've got Livramento, Spence, you've got all these, even Trafford. It's Andorra, for fuck's sake. Give James Trafford a run out. But,
no. Yeah. Big up Mike again, mate, for that 5. Appreciate it. Big up to you, mate. Big up to Russ as well. Says, oh, this is actually pretty funny. Funny how Bernardo wants out year after year, and now we can't get rid. Likely Stones and Gundogan leave permanently. Jack out on loan. Own it. Well, yeah, I think Everton are interested. The thing is, Everton are moving into their new stadium, right? So they're probably going to want like a name to come in through the door. Now they've already been linked with Stones. Yeah, but Stones want to go there? Does he want to try and stay in a team in Europe? I don't know. I actually think Stones should just go back to Everton, right? If I'm being honest with you. Because, like, playing, I think for him, he can't play every 3 days. So I think he got a good move. The thing is for Grealish is 29 years old. So for him to go to Everton at 29, I feel like he's accepting a major L there. And I know Everton's a good club. It's a big club. It's, great fan base and whatever. But, they've been in the shit for years. You know what I'm saying?
You know what Grealish has to do right now? So if you think about it, Grealish is 29, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The World Cup is next summer, right? That will be Grealish's last chance to play in a World Cup, yeah? He ain't playing in the World Cup at 34.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, probably, yeah.
So right now, Grealish is not in contention for a World Cup squad, right? And if Jack Grealish goes to a team where he gets limited game time, right? Again, he might not earn it. But if Jack Grealish goes to a club, any club, right, Premier League level or abroad equivalent, and plays well for 4 months, yeah, bro, he's back in contention. Because you've got to think, who do we have on the left? Who does England have on the left? Anthony Gordon, Rashford, Eze, Grealish.
Foden's played there.
Maybe, but ultimately, if Grealish goes somewhere and plays well for 3-4 months, yeah, he will be back in contention for an England.
The thing is as well, right? What'll happen? Yeah, if he goes Everton, I can already see what's going to happen. Everton don't play low blocks, so he'll go Everton. He'll cook because he's not playing against low blocks and he's got pure space, and everyone will be like, "Oh, Pep's used him mad wrong and that. Look at him cooking." It's like, bro, he never had those spaces at City, man. You know what I'm saying?
That is what will happen. But then that will put him. So he has to be thinking about, because he will be thinking about, I've got one more World Cup in me, right? So he has to go somewhere where he's playing. Now, if he goes Villa, of course he's going to be happy at Villa because he's back at his childhood club. But, bro, we've seen it this season with Villa. He's not guaranteed a starting space at Villa. With the players, with the ambition that Villa have, I don't think he's necessarily... And also the other thing that I do know is his missus really, really does not want to leave the house they're in. Like she's adamant that this is her dream house and she loves Alderley Edge. She don't want to leave there. So again, Everton makes sense because he don't need to leave the house. Like it's what, 45 minutes?
Yeah, it's rapid, isn't it? Yeah, it's about an hour. So
I think Everton makes sense. And the other thing, I don't know. So the sponsors of the new stadium, yeah, they'll want a marquee signing as well.
That's what. That's what I'm saying. They're moving into a new stadium. They're going to want a marquee signing. Yo, big up to Etihad goals, bro. Come on, man, get that cardio working. Come on, shredding season. Let's go. Now they're going to want a big name signing, aren't they? You know what I'm saying? And the thing is as well, if you get Grealish, City are happy to loan this guy out. Yeah, people are saying we can't loan him out. We've got to sell him. I just don't think City are in a position to demand a fee. He's on mad crazy money. Yeah, Pep's not even taking him to the Club World Cup, mate.
Yeah. See, I had this debate the other day, right? So someone, it was Lads or City Extra or someone put this post up, saying what should Grealish's next move be, right? And it had 4 badges. I think it had Villa, Tottenham, Newcastle, and Forest. So I said, for me, Villa should bring him home. Yeah. Villa should bring him home, and he goes with all of our best wishes and thank yous, right? And then this fucking helmet straight away is commented saying, see, this is the exact fucking mentality of all you City fans now. you're throwing him away. You've given up on him. And I've said, hold on. I said, if this was an exam, you just failed the fucking exam because you didn't read the question, yeah? You didn't ask me if I'd keep him at City. I said, but all right, let's go down that lane, right? How is keeping him at City going to work, right? We've just had the season from hell with a fucking aging midfield and injuries galore. And Jack Grealish probably played, what, fucking 8 league games?
It's 1,500 minutes in the entire season.
Right. So 1,500 minutes in that midfield, right? When we needed him, yeah? Right. We now don't have injuries. We've just signed Cherky and Reinders. And Grealish has just been left out of the Club World Cup squad. Why would I possibly even waste my fucking breath once again trying to say, oh no, do you know what? I really want to see Grealish in the 10 role. I'm never going to see Grealish in the 10 role.
It's irrelevant, bro.
It's irrelevant.
And the thing is, right, is like, listen, I know Grealish is like a decisive, or like whatever the word is, you know, like it splits people a little bit, right? But if people are saying, why have you given up on Grealish? That doesn't manage the football club. He isn't Pep Guardiola. Yeah.
Well, I can make a statement. I've made this statement multiple times, right? During that period, yeah, during that period when we were fucking bad and losing games for fun, right? I honestly believe if we had Grealish in midfield in some of those games, we would have won them, right? Because Grealish actually has got legs, right? Grealish actually can advance with the ball, which would have just taken all the pressure off of our DM and our defence, right? But it didn't fucking happen. So what is the point in me trying to say how I would use Jack Grealish?
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because one, I actually don't think he's that good anymore. I think he's too slow, yeah. But Pep's given up on him.
Exactly.
In the last 20, I just counted it. In the last 21 Premier League games, yeah, Grealish has featured 6 times, right? Yeah. And in the 6 times, he played 6 minutes, 27 minutes, 1 minute, 90 minutes, 16 minutes, 3 minutes, and 1 minute. So anyone that says, oh, well, you're giving up on Grealish, fucking Pep's giving up on Grealish, mate. Look at the fucking numbers.
I'll never give up on Grealish. I love Grealish in it. I do like Grealish as a player, but I also know that sometimes people just need to part ways. Like, and furthermore, 300 grand sat on the bench. No thanks. And also a player that is a liked person in the dressing room. We've seen it, right? I know factually the Monday after the FA Cup final, Grealish turned up to training in a piss-poor mood. He'd had it with the club, yeah? There is no coincidence he was dropped for the match squad on Sunday against Fulham because clearly he's starting to be a bit of a moany bastard round the dressing room.
Which, to be fair, I do understand because it's the FA Cup final and he's brought on Echeverry ahead of Grealish. However, that's up to the manager. But listen, the Grealish thing for me, bro, is just like it's. I don't get why, like, bro. I hardly even speak about Grealish now. Like that's the biggest sort of like situation I've got. Is like I very rarely speak. The only reason I spoke about it because it got brought up, but like I very rarely speak about this guy. This guy's leaving. It's obvious that this guy's been leaving since December.
People in the chat that say, well, obviously he's angry. Again, nothing I am saying, everything I'm saying right now, yeah, I'm just speaking what has happened, right? Again, I understand why Grealish would be angry. I'm pissed off at Pep some games this season that he didn't play him in. But this is everything that is happening. And so based on that, what is the point in he has to go? Like, because otherwise he's pissed off. He has every right to be pissed off, but you don't want pissed off people in your dressing room, right? It's not good. And now, if we look at it, I think the players came back to training yesterday, some of them, right? I think a few more today, a few more tomorrow. Ultimately, over the next coming days, we are flying out to the Club World Cup. And the mood around the club, we can see it amongst content creators, the fan base. The mood around the club is not where it was in January or February. The mood around the club is good again, right? We've just got new players coming in. We don't want people on that plane that are not on the same page, right? You don't want Grealish there when Ike Norrie's like, oh, tell me about this club. We don't want Grealish going, fucking hell, mate. They're going to fucking bench you. That's the last thing you want. So you've got to fucking... He has to...
I also think for me, like, the Club World Cup, I wasn't really sure like how this was going to work, but like for me, it's obviously now with the window, it's obviously as soon as it's a pre-season tournament, rather than a post-season tournament. Now it's coming at post-season times because it's coming so quickly after the season's just ended. However, it's becoming clear that this is not a post-season tournament. This is a pre-season tournament. Yeah. So it's pre-season. You want players that are going to be here for next year. You know what I'm saying? So listen, it is what it is. He's going to go on loan, and it is what it is. People say a couple of comments in the chat about the academy. Great points on the academy. People bringing this up and saying, why are we going to spend loads of money on academy players? Why are we going to spend a lot of money on these homegrown players? Why don't you just go and get some out of academy? Ember says it here. It's a great point, right? Now listen, I'm one of the biggest fans of the academy you'll find in the City fan base, right? However, if Pep Guardiola is not going to trust these players in the academy, and when I say trust, I don't mean just putting on the bench, and never playing them. I mean, if shit hits the fan, you're playing them. You're playing them. You're bringing on. You're properly playing them. Then yeah, cool. I'm down for that. Because we've got good players in the academy. We've had good players in the academy that we've sold that maybe we shouldn't have sold. But if Pep isn't going to trust them, then you can't deal with the academy because Pep's never going to trust them, and he'll end up playing fucking Akanji at centre defensive mid, which no one wants to see. So if Pep's open to it, I'm open to it, and I'm actually really supportive of that. And I have been all the way back to when the shit run started back in October, when I was on YouTube saying Pep needs to get McAtee in there, Pep needs to get O'Reilly in there, get some of these younger players in, which he didn't. And now he comes out in a press conference and said he should have done that. But if Pep isn't going to change and trust these academy players, then you have to buy players. Otherwise, we're simply going to leave ourselves short of one players and two homegrown. So this is a Pep thing, really.
I don't know. I think we're seeing signs that Pep might change on a few things. I think
so as well. I think so as well. I think Pep is going to change like a lot going into next season.
I think the fact that he's gone and, he's because we know Pep, when he came to City, brought a lot of his backroom staff with him. The fact Pep's even been willing to shake up his backroom staff, do you know what I spoke about the other day, right? That this season, I think Pep has been very, loyal to, maybe too loyal to some players this season, right? But we have to remember what Pep's been going through this season, right? And when you're going through a hard time, like a divorce, right, you're going to lean on people that have been in your life for a long time, right? So the likes of Gundogan, the likes of Bernardo, the likes of Lilo, all them lot, right? People that have been, he's lent on them and he's shown loyalty to them. But I think this summer we're already seeing that Pep, he's willing to be ruthless. I think Viana has come in. I think Khaldoon's probably had a word with him, and everyone's made Pep realise you do have to be a bit ruthless, And the fact that he's shaken up his backroom staff and he's willing to say, I need to be challenged a bit more. I think I saw an interview where yesterday he said something about he never wants to experience a season like last season again because he wasn't sleeping well, it wasn't nice, and Pep knows. Pep's put his hands up and admitted he was wrong a lot last season, and he was wrong more than any player last season for me.
Yeah, but the thing is with the loyalty thing, and I've mentioned this a lot this year, is like the loyalty of Pep is he is a very loyal person, and I think that's what makes his teams, like, he gets the trust of the players. But I think what we clearly found out this year that we've never really seen before is that when shit goes south, he's not willing to sort of say, I'm dropping these players because he's so loyal. Now that is what it is. But so that's why people have been worried about this season and going into next season, because people have been saying, is he going to come? Is he? Now, I don't think that Pep is going to continue to play Kovacic above Nico, Gundo and Bernardo if they're here, above Nico Gonzalez, Rodri, all them kind of players, right? When they come back, right? Because it's a new season. And I think Pep Guardiola
Is that you
is going to change that. But I think just going into last year, I think that is what he was. That's what he's like. So it just is what it is, man. Listen, at the end of the day, yeah. Like I'm not turning against this manager just because he's had one bad year. Like he's had a bad year, granted. And I think to be honest with you, I think it's his worst year in management. If I'm being completely honest with you, but I'm not just going to turn against him off 1 year. I've said if we're shit again next year, we're miles away. We win one game in 14. Then yeah, don't be surprised if he decides to leave, whether he decides to walk or he decides to leave at the end of the year, or the club decide it's right for a change, because you can't spend 400 million and not compete for the title. That's just a fact.
Not 400, 200, 200. 285. Yeah. Fucking hell, you're doing it now. Now, but do you know what? I've said this, that if after a summer of spending a lot of money, if by November we're seeing similar form to kind of autumn last year, then it has to be a conversation.
It will. However, I don't think I think this team is going to be at a very, very high level next year. I think we're going to be back to maybe not our best straight away. I think it might take time, because I've said for a while that I think Rodri's a key part of this, and I don't think he's going to be fully back to it until maybe December. I don't know. It depends how long it takes to get back to it. But listen, it is what it is. The thing is, right, I think there's not too many positives we can take from last year. Yeah. However, the main positive that I can take is that we were absolutely shit. Yeah, in my opinion. And I know some people don't think we were shit. I think we were shit. It's my opinion. Yet we finished third. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that highlights just at a high level it was. Let me go through some of these chats. I smashed these likes up. Donna, mate, you're proper weird, lad. Yeah, I can't lie. Yeah, what you doing, man? So touch some grass, mate. Yeah, honestly. Shout ALX for the 17 months says, what do you think of our summer transfers? It will be Cherky, Reinders, Norrin a right back. Do you think we need a superstar like Leo or Rodrigo? We don't need a superstar. We need good players that work in the team. Yeah, so I don't think you need a superstar. We need good players, and Cherky, Reinders, Norrin are good players. Who the right back is, I don't know. And then obviously we need a goalkeeper to replace Ederson if he decides to leave. I thought City wanted to go for a big name, yeah, and I think that's why when we moved on for Wirtz, I was like, maybe they'll go for Rodrigo. I've sort of cooled on that opinion now. I don't think they are going to go for Rodrigo. Nah, I don't think City now are going to go for a superstar just for superstar's sake. I think get these players in, get a right back, get a goalkeeper, and I think that'll be us dusted. I think then next summer, I've said this, and I think it's quite clear, centre back, another centre mid to replace Kovacic, and maybe a winger if Doku and Savio don't pick it up. But we're pretty much the core of the rebuild is done. What's going to happen now next summer? Just grab a couple of players, and then after that, really after next year, it's one in, one out. Yeah. But we can't get back into that situation where we allow the squad to decay. You've got to keep topping. I said this, minimum spend policy every year, 70 million, 80 million a year. Yeah, you've got to be bringing in. Otherwise, then you don't have to do this. You know what I mean? Because that's why we've had to spend 500 million for whatever, 300 million in the space of 6 months. So yeah, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Man.
This goes back to what I said before, that in 2010 we had a big summer, right?
I smashed these likes up as well, people. Come on, man. 1.2k in the building. Let's get these likes up. Big up Herbal, man. Sorry, bro. What are you saying?
Yeah, 2010 we spent a lot of money. 2017 we spent a lot of money. And now it's every now and again you have to have a summer where you do that's why it's called a rebuild, right?
Yeah.
This is a rebuild. Hey, do you want to see a magic? Do you want a magic trick real quick, LB?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I'll be fucking baffled by this one. Yeah. No one give it away, right? So
I'm not looking at the chat.
3 bits of paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing on any of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Put them down here. My hands are up here. Still nothing on them. Right. So first bit of paper, nothing on it. I want you to think of your favourite city. Don't say it. Think of your favourite city. Look in the camera, LB. I need to look in your eyes.
My favourite city?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Let's see.
Fucking hell, it's not that difficult, mate.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I hate cities. I fucking hate cities. Right, go on. I thought of one.
You thought of one. Right. Okay. Hold on, look at the camera again. All right, cool. That's locked in. Right. Fold this one up. Okay.
Yeah.
Fold it up, people. Right. Now, LB, tell everyone the name of that city.
Munich.
Okay. Right. Now, your favourite colour. Don't say it. You got one?
Yeah.
Okay. Look. Oh, yeah. Got that. Right. That's locked in. Now tell everyone. Tell everyone your favourite colour.
Blue.
Okay. Right. And final question, a direction. Up, down, left or right?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Got
Look
it.
at the camera, please. Right. Got you. Right then. Tell everyone the direction.
Up.
Okay, perfect. Right then. So the first question was your favourite city. You said
Munich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The second question was your favourite colour. You said
blue. Yeah.
And then finally, the final question was direction. You said
up. Yeah.
There you go. Bosh.
Yeah, but I can't fucking see the thing, so you could have just wrote it.
Hold on, my hands have been in the whole time. What are you talking about? My hands have been in the whole time. Watch it back. Watch it back. Watch it backing. Write on a postcard if you know how I did it.
It's never a foul live.
Huh?
It's never a foul live.
I don't know why.
Because Cass, isn't it?
Why?
I bet it's Cass, isn't it? I bet Cass is there, isn't it? Next to you.
No, is he fuck? Hold on. Oh, empty room and that.
They could have just left the fucking door, man.
Come on, bro. Go and watch it back. Listen, go and watch it back. Go and watch it back.
What the hell?
Shout out to my daughter on that one. She taught me that one. Someone said he's under the desk. Anyway, back to City.
Are you taking the fucking piss?
Nah, I don't know about that. It's a bit sus, bro. How the hell you do that, man? Tell me off there, innit? Anyway,
you can book me for parties. 8 magnums, and I'm there.
Yo, big up Camaro, bruh. Says, not sure why we're pushing to overpay for Livramento, sell Doku, buy a cheap homegrown winger on midfielder, and buy... No, but buy cheap, you mean shit, innit? Yeah. That's what you mean.
I think we give Doku one more season, I reckon. Doku has one more season.
Oh, you know what? I need to get that... Have a word with him, ref. I need to get that loaded in the system. Don't I?
I'm always trying to think of fucking them new ones. You were right. Oh, by the way, LB, fucking, is 50 Cent giving you a holler yet?
Yeah, man, all the time. I'm on speed dial.
It was him you were tracking yesterday, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, I'm on speed dial. No, but the thing is, Camaro, yeah, the thing is with this, yeah, you mean rubbish. By cheap, you mean rubbish. Because you're saying buy a cheap homegrown winger. So what you actually mean is rubbish. Yeah. Isn't it? Is that not what you mean?
Why would we do that? Hold on. Not sure why we're pushing to overpay for Livramento. Sell Doku, buy a cheap winger or midfielder and buy Fernandez to compete with. Yeah, but Fernandez is going to be cheaper than fucking Livramento anyway. So why would we even need to sell fucking Doku to get I don't get that.
I guess I don't know whether it depends on homegrown spots and non-homegrown spots. But the thing is...
Nah. Desert Citizen. Nah, what are you doing?
What?
Giving it away, man.
What?
Don't worry.
Oh, Desert Citizen! Should I show people or no?
Yeah, he's paid his money. I don't mind.
He drew an arrow during the city portion. Wrote Munich. Oh, you are, bro. Is that how
you did it, yeah.
You do the arrow first. My daughter did it to me yesterday, yeah? And I was baffled for like 15, 20 minutes, sat there thinking, nah, what have you just done to me here? And then
Hey! Hey! Have a fucking word with him then, ref! Hey!
Hey, we still don't have the here we go on him yet.
As if that's how you did it. All right, come on, citizen. All right, big up. You're my mate. All right, big up to you.
Apparently, it's all over TikTok. I would imagine that's where my daughter got it from. But anyway, right?
Yeah, big up. He said, yeah, you'd have to sell. But the thing is, you wouldn't have to do that because Fernandes is under the age of 21. So if you did buy Fernandes at Porto, you would be fine. But you would be kicking the can down the road, and next year you would have to definitely get a couple of homegrown players, probably of the year after. So
I think Fernandes. I think we'd have 2 years with him before he'd be classed as foreign.
Yeah, that's why, right? And this is why, like you know when they bring in these rules, when anyone brings in rules, everyone always brings in these rules, not just football, just in life, people bring in rules, governments bring in rules, football, like clubs bring in rules, fucking everyone brings in rules. They don't think of consequences.
Nah, they don't.
No one ever thinks of everyone just goes, oh, that's a good rule, let's bring it in. Nobody ever sits there and goes, okay, sounds like a good rule, let's have a think of the impacts. PSR, that sounds great. Sustainable, stop clubs going bust, great rule, yeah, we want to do that, boom. No one thinks of the impact that has. Homegrown. We want to make the homegrown nations teams better. Great. No one thinks of what that's going to do. So what happens is, and I think it's fucking disgraceful personally. I'm not in favour of this. What ends up happening is these football clubs, they go and spending millions or hundreds of thousands of pounds on 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds, which I think is fucking bang out of order. But that's what they end up having to do because if you don't do that, someone else is going to do it, and then you get to a situation where one club's got all the homegrown players because they bought them at 13, 14 years old, and you're fucked, and you're spending £100 million on fucking average English player. Do you know what I'm saying? This is the thing that with these rules, it's like this. They sound good, but then when you actually implement them, they're not good.
The whole thing is that like people want academy players and English players to break through more. But the fact is, that'll never happen because of PSR. Like the way PSR at the moment is, it makes sense to sell your young players. It makes sense for us to sell Cole Palmer. Why? Because that was straight profit. It makes sense for us to sell anyone that comes through our academy because we make more money on the book off of them. All of it's wrong. It is wrong.
But Blue Moon's right. If you end up getting rid of those rules, then our academy probably dives because the young players don't become as valuable. I don't know, man. It's just one of those things, man. It's just annoying, mate. Because like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just means like, look at this Bettinelli guy we're getting. This guy, this Bettinelli we signed from Chelsea, mate. This guy's gonna be online.
Firstly, can he speak Portuguese?
I have no idea.
Right. Well, how's he going to be fucking Ederson's best friend then? Right. Secondly, can he have a scrap in a car park? Right. And if he can't do these things, and thirdly, has he ever lifted a Champions League in fucking Istanbul? If he hasn't done those three, then I want to know what he is bringing to the club.
Well, it's quite funny. On the official Fabrizio Romano post about it, or whoever's posted it, it said City believe he's got the right like profile to back up Ederson or whatever. And I'm like, no, he's basically English. That's the only reason we've signed him.
Or
that's
maybe
the only reason.
Punch someone up for Ederson. Maybe that is what it is.
Yeah. Nah, it is a wild one. I smash these likes up, people, if you've not done so already, man.
Outside bets, right? If Ederson goes to fucking Saudi, sorry, by the way, apologies to anyone. I've got a putty mouth. I swear way too much. I'm sorry. It just comes out. I'm sorry. I don't mean any offense by it. But if Ederson goes to Saudi, I reckon Carson's going to get a move to Saudi. I reckon he'll get a little 30 bag a week job over there as Ederson's bag carrier or something.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Have you heard anything on the Ederson thing? Because it's very weird. It's very quiet, isn't it? I thought this was going to be done and dusted soon as the season ended, but
I've heard all I've heard is you've probably heard this as well. I'm pretty certain everyone in has heard it. Is that like City apparently offering him 150 grand 2 year extension because he's currently on about 90, 100. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've always thought, that this, like, last season, I don't think Ederson was as heavily linked with Saudi as people made out. Like, when Saudi usually wants someone, they come in a lot harder than that. Pause. I don't know, man. It's weird. I think Ederson's probably, I think he's happy where he is. Probably caught between two minds. Pep's, you know that he's an emotional person that just feels wanted. Pep's gone to him and said, I want you to stay. So I think Ederson's trying to, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's one, though, that definitely, there would be no chance that Ederson would go before the Club World Cup.
No. Well, we've only got 4 hours left of the window.
But even before that, bro, I would have told you that a month ago. There's no way Ederson will want to play in that Club World Cup.
Yeah, probably. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on there. It is a weird one, but there's not even been any speculation or anything. The thing is, he's so young as well for a goalkeeper. Like, he's so young for a goalkeeper. I'm looking at his age. What is he? 31.
I think, which is fine. We've still got another 2. I've always said it, that I felt Ederson would be Manchester City goalkeeper until the day Pep Guardiola leaves, right? I think it's just exactly what Pep needs. And, bro, I don't know if you watched Costa the other day again, I get he saves penalties, but I'm not having him, I get that he's good with his feet, but why every time I watch this keeper is he making mistakes?
Yeah, I've watched him only 3 times, and 2 of the games I've not been impressed. One of them I wasn't very impressed, but the other 2 I wasn't impressed.
And this is the thing that it kind of makes me think I'd rather just...
You won't get Trafford for Ortega because Trafford ain't going to sit on the bench. So if you wanted Trafford, you'd have to back it and say you're going to be the number 1. Which, to be fair, some City fans would. Let me do a poll in the chat. Let me see how many City fans in the chat would take Trafford as a number 1.
I'd take Trafford. But I'd only take... Right, I'd rather Ederson stays, but if Ederson is leaving... I'd take Trafford because Trafford's very good shot stopper and he's actually very fucking comfortable with the ball at his feet, like unbelievably comfortable. He's doing Ederson shit with the ball at his feet. Maybe not with the assists, but with the comfort. Right, if Newcastle come in for Trafford, are they selling Pope?
I actually don't know what their plans are on Pope.
So, because I was thinking this, why would he come and sit on our bench? But Newcastle have got Pope, right? So would Newcastle's thing be the same as us? That
No, they want a new goalkeeper.
They want to get rid of Pope.
They want to replace Pope. I think they want to replace Pope because he's not very good on the ball. But yeah, I have seen that Newcastle have been in talks with Trafford. So if you do want him, you're gonna have to get involved pretty quickly.
Even his interview the other day sounded a little bit like I think City Extra tweeted some stuff he'd said about leaving when he left City, and it did sound a bit like he left with the intention of maybe coming back one day.
He's going to be England's number 1. He's going to be England's next number 1, in my opinion. But I don't know. Like, I've not watched him this year at all because I've not watched a single Burnley game. But my mate, he watches quite a lot of Burnley games, and he said he's been mega.
Mate,
but last year in the Prem, he was bad. So it's like, do you take the risk on him?
But he was younger. What I would say is, right, and you are right, it's a championship, so it's a different level. But 29 clean sheets in 45, right? Saved 2 penalties from 2 penalties. But I went purposely, because all of that, you can hear about shot stopping with stats, right? It's the one thing that you actually can go by stats on a little bit, But I thought, I need to see what he's like with the ball at his feet. LB, I'm telling you, from everything I've watched of him, it's not about his distribution. His distribution's good. Like, sometimes he'll play like them pinging passes through the middle of the pitch as players are trying to close him down. But he's one of them that he don't mind if he's being pressed. He's press resistant as a goalkeeper with the ball at his feet. And to play the Pep system, you have to be press resistant with the ball at your feet. I don't know. I think he'd be a good shout. I would love, deep down, Eddie to stay 1 more year and Trafford to come in and play all cup competitions, excluding Champions League.
Yeah, but he's not going to do that, though, is he?
I don't know. He might do. The only thing is, with it being the World Cup next summer, he probably won't. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even think of that. Like, he has a legitimate chance of being England's number 1 going into next World Cup. Yeah,
he ain't going to do that by being a rotation player. He's going to, and he could go to Newcastle and start for a team that's in the Champions League. He's not going to come to City and be a rotational player when he could go to Newcastle, play Champions League football, and be a starting goalkeeper, because he's going to get in above Pope. So I don't know. Listen, let me go to the poll. I've done a poll in the chat. In fact, I'll come to it in a minute, chat. There's only 180 votes on the poll, so I'll come to it in a second when we get a bit more votes. So go to the live chat section of the poll and vote on the poll. If you're watching on replay, let us know in the comments, and we'll come back to it in a second.
Hey, and just that comment there saying Trafford is not winning a Prem or a UCL. I heard the exact same thing about Ederson.
Yeah, the thing is with this, though, you don't know this. It could be true. He could come in and be crap, but he could come in and be absolutely amazing. You don't know. It's just a gamble, because you're going off one really good season in the Championship this year, but you also have 2 years ago a really bad year in the Premier League. So it is a risk. It's a gamble. If it works, you're cooking, because you've got England's next number one for the next decade and a half. Yeah, he's homegrown, so that's great. But if he doesn't, you're probably not going to win anything, because you got to have a good goalkeeper. You get a goalkeeper that's crap, you're cooked, mate.
I just think that's where, when I look at Donnarumma, I think, Donnarumma, shot stopper, unbelievable, but he's not going to suit the way Pep plays football, right?
The thing is, though, but the thing is, you look at, I hear what you're saying, but PSG just done the treble with him in net, and they play passing football. They play passing football.
Yeah. The other thing I would say on Donnarumma, and this is probably, do you know what happens sometimes, right? Well, certainly with me, is if I think I'm not going to get someone, then I'll give reasons to why it wouldn't work anyway, right? And I think with Donnarumma, for me, firstly, I think Donnarumma he's on mad wages that we wouldn't pay him. I don't.
Well, he's already come out and said he's staying at PSG.
Right. Well, secondly, even if he wasn't leaving, if he was leaving PSG, I think there's a good chance Real Madrid might look at him anyway, and then they'd probably beat him. So I can't see a world where Donnarumma would come to Man City, to be honest.
No, he come out yesterday. He come out yesterday and said, this morning, that he wants to stay at PSG. So I think that's over.
I think the obvious one is keep Ederson. Go and give Ederson more money. Go and give Ederson what he fucking deserves.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see what it is. I think if he does leave, it's probably going to be this Costa guy. But I would be very, very nervous with this Costa. Very nervous from what I've seen. But some people say he's mega, but I've watched 3 games and 2 of them I was not impressed. Anyway, let me come to some of these chats. I'll come to this poll in a second. Make sure you guys are voting on the poll and see what you guys are saying about Trafford. Shout out Russ, says sell for a low fee, pay off wages, 15.6 mil. Who was this about? Sorry, Russ. He said this in 20 minutes ago. I can't remember who this was about. Who was this about, Russ? Sell for a low fee and pay off the wages. 15.6 mil. Anyone in the chat know? Oh, Grealish. Yeah, you could. Well, the thing is, though, that if I was a team that wanted Grealish, I could come to City and say, I'll take him on loan. And City say, no, he's only available for sale. We go, we're not buying him. We want him on loan. What are City going to do? You know that City don't want him because Pep's not even taking him to the Club World Cup. This is what happened when Sancho and Ten Hag had the spat at United, and Ten Hag come out and said, Sancho ain't in the team. He's not in my plans. He's basically shit at training. All that does it when you do something like that, it makes it very difficult to sell the player, because if I'm a buying club or a club that wants to take the player, I know that you don't want the player. So why would I pay you money for it?
Yeah, I can't lie. I'll be real with you. The Grealish PR in the last week, has been amazing. Yeah. And again, this is not me knocking Grealish in any way, but what I mean is that Jack Grealish has become the talk of the town, right? From all main media outlets, which ultimately has improved his PR. So, because ultimately everyone is saying, or every single rival is saying, oh, it's not Jack, it's Pep, right?
Yeah.
Which has made Jack's stocks somehow go back up. So I'm here for it, but he has to go, man. Has to go.
He says Daps has now morphed into Darren Brown. Big up Russ, man. Big up Dark Shadow says Martin Fernandez has played 1,400 minutes only. It's a risky signing. Our whole right flank would be inexperienced. He would become homegrown in 28, 29 if signed. So, all right, okay. I didn't know that. So, first, you might be worth pulling the trigger on it then, isn't it? But again, it's risky. It's going to be 60 million, I heard. 60 million quid if you go and get him. And you're telling me he's only played 1,400 minutes.
Yeah, that's mad.
Have you seen enough of him to say, yeah, this guy's the one in 1,400 minutes to go shell out 60 million? But people don't want to spend 70 on Livramento, who's Premier League proven and homegrown. It's a weird one, man. Like people have been saying, the right back market's it's a bit dead at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
The right back market's a bit dead, man. We'll see you next. Big up Shadow. Big up Etihad again. Etihad and Al-Nassr wanted him, but they already brought in keepers, so there's no demand for a goalkeeper in Saudi right now for Ederson. Well, that explains why there's no news coming out in the press or like journalists saying Ederson's going Saudi. So we'll see.
That's good for us. And the mad one is for me is I guess Ortega's is Ortega sat there waiting to see what's happening with Eddie?
No, because there is no way that Ortega will be number one for Manchester City next season.
Right. So is he happy being number two or?
Well, his problem is that his stonks are lower now than they were at the end of last season.
Yeah,
at the end of last season, he was like, he could have gone to a lot of German teams. I was thinking maybe even Bayern Munich might make a move for him at the end of that last year. However, unfortunately for him, and this isn't hate, this is just facts, this year he has, in my opinion, massively reduced his performance levels. So I think that maybe the amount of clubs or the quality of clubs available to him back in Germany might be lower. I also think his chances of becoming a sort of Germany number one are also just a bit dead. So, yeah, he might just think, you know what, I'll just stay at City and just, win some more trophies and that. Plus, he's probably settled it. I don't know. It depends what caliber of German club comes in for him. I
think the other thing is at his age now, he's probably thinking, I ain't going to get in the German squad. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think in hindsight, he probably should have left last year, to be honest, and got a move to Germany and played for a German team in Bundesliga week in, week out. But it is what it is. I don't mind him staying and sticking around as a number two. I don't mind him, but not as a number one. I think he's very far off a number one sort of level. Let's have a look at the poll then on James Trafford. How many people have voted on this? We had enough votes. Yeah, we had 300 votes. That's enough to sort of see what people are saying. Would you take Trafford as a number one goalkeeper? 63% of people are saying no. 37% of people are saying yes. So basically 2/3.
I think it's higher than I thought with 37. I thought it would be lower than that. I know I'm probably in a minority for liking him. And let me be clear, my number one choice is Ederson stays. But I'm not having Costa. I get he's good with his feet, but Costa to me is a real worry.
He worries me. But then Trafford would worry me because I've not seen him in the Championship. And the only time I've seen him was in the Premier League and he was not very good. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. I've already said, whatever goalkeeper we get, I'm just going to have to trust the club and hope and pray that he's the right one. But if we get Costa, I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to have to hope and pray the club know what they're doing. If we get Trafford, I'm going to be nervous. Now, it's not like other players, I've seen other players. I know what they're about. I know if they're good or not, yeah? But and it's not only that. If you get your goalkeeper wrong and they turn into a Claudio Bravo, you're not winning anything. You're not winning the league, certainly. So we've got to get this right, man. We've got to get it right. And that's why, for me, I always say, I know there's a lot of people out there who don't rate Ederson, right? And I think he's mint, yeah? And obviously, this year, I think he's been bad, but I think he's good. The only thing I'd say to you guys that don't rate Ederson, and I know there's quite a few people that don't, is surely it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Yeah, you got Ederson in. You know what he's about. You know his mistakes now and again, but you know that we can win leagues because we've won multiple leagues. You can win a Champions League because we've won a Champions League. You go and get another goalkeeper in, thinking that he's going to be better than Ederson, and it could be shit. And then that's the season off. Because if you have a goalkeeper that's crap, you dust it out here.
Yeah, facts. The proof's in the pudding. I mean, we know Manchester City and Pep's style of football wins trophies with Ederson. It's so proven. I don't know. The fact that no one over there wants him, that encourages me that he's going to stay. But I still, by the way, if he stays, we still need to go and give him a fucking extension and a better wage.
He might just say, you know what, I'll just stay for one more year and leave on a free next year.
Maybe. I think that's probably fair as well, because he'll think that way I can go to potentially Saudi next summer and fucking pocket all the money myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get the sign-on bonus, innit?
Nah, facts. Oh, it would not surprise me if Barcelona came in through. I've said this a bit. Barcelona, I think they are sort of getting to the end of the Ter Stegen era, and they don't want to be playing Chesney in net.
Garcia.
Oh, they already got him.
He's pretty, bro. He's going there, 100%, man. I'm telling you now. You see Barcelona, yeah. Barcelona are one that I think Barcelona are about to come into their into another fucking golden era.
Possible, bro. The players they've got, yeah, it's certainly possible, isn't it?
The players they've got, the fact their new stadium opens soon, which is going to bring the bro. Right, LB, you've been Barcelona before, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Away from if you went to watch City, when you went Barcelona, did you do a stadium tour?
I've been in the stadium. I watched City there a couple of times.
Done the tour there. I've done both.
I've never done the tour. No, I've never done the tour.
But the point I'm trying to make is a lot of people so I've been to see City there. You've been to see City there. A lot of people go there just and do the stadium tour, right? The shop there, the amount of money that stadium tour generates, yeah, the sponsorship on that stadium for the reopening of that new stadium, yeah, and the
Spotify.
Bro, it's going to be worth. I think they might come in for Isak next summer.
Well, I've said this about Isak, right? If I was Isak, I would not leave Isak. I would not leave Newcastle, yeah, for Liverpool or Arsenal. I just wouldn't, yeah. I'd wait, and I'd either go Bayern, Barca, or if Newcastle are cooking in a year or two, stay at Newcastle and win the Premier League and shit.
Yeah.
Why would you go out? I don't just be Arsenal fans moaning about it, but like, if you take your Arsenal bias out of you, yeah, why would Isak leave Newcastle, who've actually won a trophy this year, to go to Arsenal, who don't win anything? You just wouldn't do that, would you? So and Liverpool, yeah, Liverpool's more attractive than Arsenal because they actually win stuff, but they're not a dominant club in terms of winning trophies all the time. Now they might change that with Slot, who knows? But if I was him, I'd just hang fire, yeah, stay at Newcastle for another year. He then got 2 years left of his contract. See what's happening at Lewandowski at Barcelona. Yeah, maybe by the way, Real Madrid might need a striker because Endrick might not come into it properly, or Kane. So someone's at the door. One sec, bro.
Yeah, go on. How many likes we on in here, people? Get those likes up. And listen, I know why Alan wants him, bro. I know why Alan wants Trafford. Listen, Martin, I don't just do things because Alan said so. Trust me. I don't know if you watch the shows I do with Alan, but we argue a lot. And I'm well aware that, as someone once very kindly told me before, Alan would like Nigel Farage playing up top for England. Sorry, for City if he could. So I know why he wants Trafford. I just personally rate Trafford. I do rate Trafford. But let me be clear, I would rather keep Ederson. But yeah. Anyway, we'll stop talking about LB. He's back now.
So he did this last time.
Shit from you like that. Sorry, I was defending you, bro, but the comments were going mad about you. I don't know.
Let me do these chats and then we'll wrap it up, man. Big up Frauda Daddy Bray. Come on, man. Big up to you, man. The weirdest name on the app, but it is what it is. To be fair, you can watch Ederson for 3 games, say he's trash too. Bros had made runs of Ederson at times. I for one think he had a better shot stopper, win more Champions League, less. Bro, I've always said this, yeah. I've always said Ederson 100% is way more suited to league football than Champions League. Yeah, and someone like a Donnarumma or Courtois is way more suited to the Champions League than the Premier League. However, I go on Twitter and I see it in the chat. Oh, the reason why we got beaten against Spurs in the Champions League was Ederson. But then you're completely ignoring that. We deep dived it. You know we got beat off Spurs in the Champions League.
Yeah.
People blame Ederson for that. People ignore the fact, bro, that Aguero missed a penalty in the first leg.
Yeah.
People ignore the fact that Laporte in the home leg made 2 errors. Yeah. People ignore them. So they go, oh, it's Ederson's fault. It's Ederson's fault.
Yeah.
We would have beat Spurs if it wasn't for Ederson. But you completely fucking ignore the other things that went on in those games.
But then those same people, you know, that's agendas, because if you go and look at the Champions League that we did win in the knockout stages, in every single round of the last 16 through to the final, Ederson fucking saved our skin at some point. Right?
Yeah.
And sorry, look, you can say whatever you want about Ederson, man. The guy with his feet is different fucking gravy, right? And with his feet, yeah, the guy puts the whole defense. In fact, no, puts the whole outfield 10 at ease, right? No one changes. We are a system team, yeah? You have to play and you have to hold your width. You have to hold your position. If you don't, the whole system goes skew with. And everyone holds their position when Eddie's in goal. We've seen it with that cup final for me when we played Liverpool with Zach Stefan in goal.
Oh,
Everyone drops. Every single player drops 10 yards deeper with him. And when the ball gets played back to him, watch Kyle Walker, instead of holding his width, he'll come in thinking, shit, he's going to need my help here. We have to have a keeper that can play with his feet.
Yeah. I hear it, man. Yeah, that Zach Stefan, man, he was proper trash. Right, anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Big up to you guys in the chat, man. Do me a favour, man. Make sure you smashing these likes up if you're not doing so already. We've got 500 likes. Let's end the stream on 600. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Mancunian Way.
Mancunian Way? Why not?
Yeah.
Do subscribe to Mancunian Way, but please also subscribe to We Are the South Stand as well.
Hey! Hey! Have a fucking word with him then, ref! Hey!
Yeah, South Stand. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to We Are the South Stand. Yeah. Nah, big up, man. 6 o'clock chat. Second channel. More LB. Ignore it. Mahrez watch. Yeah, Sweden versus Algeria. It's in the second channel. I've not scheduled it yet, so it won't be there, but I'll schedule it in a bit. Yeah, 6 p.m. And then we're watching England as well. And then a panel show tonight. People have been asking for the panel show. Panel show will be back tonight after the England game as well. So come back here. But yeah, big up, bro.
Yeah, and I'm going to put the link in the chat because I do want you to subscribe to Mancunian Way, though. Let me be clear. Please go and subscribe to Mancunian Way. Yeah, bro, I was going to actually say to you, the squad has to be announced at what time? By 7 p.m, is it?
No, I don't think 7 p.m. because that's when the deadline ends. So probably like 8 p.m. I imagine, or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll know tonight. Last question for you. Sorry, I know you want to end it. Apart from the obvious, Jack Grealish, probably Kyle Walker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be any other surprise ones that aren't included?
The only one that might happen is a Kanji. But I think that would be stupid, personally. As bad as I think he's been.
Oh, McAtee's out as well. We know McAtee.
Yeah, McAtee, yeah. As bad as I think Akanji's been this year, I think that would be really stupid if we let him go. Really stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Well, who would Kanji?
Yeah, I think that would be dumb if we let him go because of his versatility that he offers. Put him back at fifth choice centre-back. Yeah, he can cover fifth choice as a centre-back, right back and left back in emergency situations.
I'll tell you the other one, though. That will be is if Stones is not in.
Nah, Stones has gone, man. Stones has gone. I think it's been confirmed anyway. Like Stones
right,
is
so
going,
do you expect Stones to not be in the Club World Cup squad then?
I think he'll be in the squad, but I think he'll go after. I think he'll go in the next one. I think he'll go in the next window.
We will see. We will see. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see if Stones actually makes the squad. You know.
Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Big up to you guys in the chat. Hope you enjoyed the show. Do me a favor, smash the likes up on the way out. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. We'll raid Nobbins, LB raid in the chat. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.